Good. Welcome, students. This is the general science for grade 1s. My name is Mr. David. I will be your general science teachers. And as you know, your teaching and learning process is stopped by the coronavirus case, but it will be available starting off today through these video systems. And we're going to start from the point you have stopped, then from your textbooks, page 100, it will be about unit 4 or chapter 4 about the locality. Then we will going to start from chapter 4 locality, and we will going to see one by one. And I will recommend you, the parents, to help your students. And if you have any questions at the meantime, you will ask your parents, and also you can return back the video, and you will see it one by one. And I hope you will follow me, and you will attentively follow me. Students, just we are going to start from chapter 4 locality. As the end of this lesson, students should be able to know what we mean by locality, and also at the end of this lesson, a student should able to define the environments, and at the end of these topics, the students should able to identify or list things that are found in our environments. At the end of this lesson, students should able to describe. The first one is environment. The second one is listing the things that are found in our environment. At the end of this today's topic lesson, a student should able to define the environment, what we mean by environment. Then after, listing the things that are found in our environment. Under that, things can also be classified into two. The first one is living and non-living. But later we will going to define what we mean by environments. Students, what we mean by environments? Environment is the sum total of all living and non-living in our surroundings. Students, environment means that the entire what we will see in our environments or in our surroundings, whether the living one and non-living can be engaged or can be called as an environment. So environment is the sum total or the entire living and non-living in our surroundings. will be called as an environment. An environment. So environment is the sum total or the aggregation or the togetherness of all living and non-living which is found in our surrounding will be called as an environment. Students, what are found in your environments or in your surroundings? Those what you see in your environments or in your surroundings will be called as an environment. So, students, I will going to define all living and non-living separately for you. First, what we mean by non-living and what we mean by the living ones. The first one is, let we see the non-living things. Do you know non-living things, students? What is non-living things? Non-living things. What is non-living things, students? What is non-living things? Good. Students, non-living thing is things without life. Things without life can be called as non-living. Things without life. For example, if you take the objects without life, they can be called as non-living. They can be called as non-living. Students, and also non-living cannot be able to non-living cannot first, non-living cannot be able to reproduce. What do you mean reproduction, students? What do you mean reproduction? How non-living cannot reproduce? Non-living, the first character of non-living is they cannot reproduce. What do you mean reproduce, students? Good. Reproduce means that they cannot give a birth. They cannot give a birth or baby. This is one character of non-living things. This is one character of non-living things. The second one is, students, non-living things cannot be able to take a food. They cannot take a food. Non-living things cannot take a food. The third one is, students, non-living things cannot move from place to place. Students, for example, the TV which is found in your homes, can it move from one place to place? No. Yes? So, it is called as, or it is characterized as non-living objects. So, non-living objects cannot move from place to places. This is one character of non-living things. And the third one is non-living cannot drink. Non-living cannot drink. Non-living things cannot drink water. For example, drinking water means that drinking water like this. So non-living objects cannot drink the waters. And also they cannot breathe. What do we mean by breathe, students? What is breathing? Breathing means that, students, it is like that. Breathing means that taking of air inside and outside. This is called breathing. So, non-living things cannot breathe. Non-living things cannot breathe. The rest one is for examples. For examples, what are non-livings? What are non-livings? For examples, chairs, desk, roof, a stone, waters, air, and these all are grouped under non-living objects. Understand, students? I hope you have got some points from non-living objects. Now we will going to pass to living objects, and we will going to differentiate the difference between non-living and living things. The second one is living objects. Living objects, living things. Students, I hope you understand what we are dealing with now. This is the living things. Living things is unlike of non-living ones. It is things that show the characteristic of taking food and reproduce. Unlike of non-living things, living things can reproduce. Students, we said that non-living things cannot reproduce. Non-living things cannot move from place to places. Non-living things cannot move from one place to another places. And we said that non-living things cannot breathe also. But when we come to living things can reproduce. The first one is reproduce. What do we mean reproduce? As I told you, first, they can give a birth. 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 The second one is they growing. Growing. What do we mean by growing? Students, what do we mean by growing? Tell you the answer for your parents. Good. Growing means that it is a physical development. Physical development. Physical development. Physical development is growing or enlarging by the physical appearance. This is the character of the living things that make differ from the non-living one. The third one is motility. Motility. Students, what do we mean by motility? What is motility? Motility means that it is moving from one place to another place. This is called motility. So motility means that, for example, students, you will move always from your homes to your schools, and you will return back from your schools to your homes. And And also
አስኳላ ልጆን በቤቶ የሚያስተምሩበት አማራጭ ፊልም አዳዲስ ፊልሞቻችን እንዲደርሱ ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ የቻናላችን ቤተሰብ ይሁኑ ፊልሞቹን ሼር በማድረግ ለወዳጅ ዘመዶ ያጋሩ አስኳላ አማራጭ ማስተማሪያ ዘዴ